What's going on, everybody? I am back with another Prize Picks NBA player props video. This one going to be breaking it down, giving you guys 5 picks to get you winning some money over here on Prize Picks. As always, if you haven't checked out Prize Picks, would highly recommend you check them out, guys. It is a player props website and app where you can win money off picking the over and under on things like players' points, rebounds, assists, points, rebounds, assists, fantasy score, etc. Go ahead and use that promo code KJK DFS to receive an instant match on your first deposit up to $100 today. Again, that is code KJK DFS. Go to lock it in, get that free money offer, and start winning some money over here on Prize Picks with these picks today, guys. And if you are getting very serious, I do offer premium content packages. I would highly recommend you check that out. You get access to all my core plays in these lower tiers for a single sport and a single app. If you want access to all my core plays for all, both a Prize Picks and Underdog, all sports, and all of my tickets, all sports, all apps, you can check out the KJK VIP member package. That is the most popular package. I would highly recommend you check that out as well. If you're playing every single night, really getting serious, that's going to be a great package to purchase. And the big news is that PrizePicks is now offering 6-pick flexes. So you can now win up to 25 extra cash with 6-pick flexes. For the time being, I'm going to stick to 5 picks on the channel. I will be giving out those 6-pick flex picks to my VIP members. So that'll be another perk that'll be added to that VIP package if you're interested in joining that. But regardless, I'm going to be giving you guys 5 solid ones that I really like tonight right now. So if you enjoy the content, would be greatly appreciated if you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. I'm trying to get all these videos up to 500 likes. If you could help me do that, that'd be awesome. I promise I'll be here working hard on these all season long. In return, it's free. It takes 2 seconds. It really does help me out, and I will be providing this content for free. So let's talk about it. We'll go game by game as we always do on this slate tonight. And the first game I would like to discuss is going to be the Charlotte Hornets taking on the Indiana Pacers. This game comes in with a 233.5 over-under. It is expected to be very up-paced. The Charlotte Hornets have a 118 implied team total, and they have a guy on their team that contributes in all categories in a fast-paced, up-tempo game environment against an Indiana Pacers team that really plays no defense. I expect him to have a very big game tonight, and that is going to be LaMelo Ball. I want to discuss him. Finally back from injury. We know this guy's legit, leading his entire team in usage. You look at the Charlotte usage on the season so far with LaMelo on the floor, over 61-minute sample size now with him playing. He possesses a 31.3% usage rate. Shooting very poorly to start the season off, I will say, but I mean, keep in mind, obviously, like he's gonna have to shake a little bit of rust off here, coming back from injury. But he's shooting a ton. I mean, you look at his shot volume, 18 shots per game. He's only shooting 33% from the field so far. He's also taking 12 threes per game, where he's only shooting 20% from the field. He's gotten to the free throw line only 1.5 times so far, but he's shooting 100% from the line. LaMelo Ball's a much better shooter than what he's been showing so far. I do expect him to get some buckets tonight, and I also do expect him to rack up a lot of rebounds and assists. He is a favorite on major sportsbooks in every single category. Has put up, last time out, he put up 9 assists, 4 rebounds, 17 points. Once again, he has not shot the greatest, but the rebounding and assists is always going to be there. He is a favorite to hit the over on every single category on major sportsbooks. His points line set at 22.5. Seen him up to a 125 favorite on that. You look at his rebounding. As far as that's concerned, they've got his prop set at 5.5. He's a minus 130 favorite on that. And his assist prop was set at 7.5 to start the day off. He was a minus 155 favorite. The sports books have now bumped that up to 8.5 assists. So I do expect LaMelo to have a very well-rounded game here. Get a lot of assists, get a lot of points, get a lot of rebounds in this fast up-tempo game environment against the Indiana Pacers. You look at the pace for these teams. The Pacers come in as the 3rd fastest team in the league. The Charlotte Hornets come in as the 17th fastest paced team in the league, so it's going to be a nice pace-up matchup. LaMelo has been playing a decent amount of minutes as well. He's working his way back from that injury, but he played 28 minutes last time, 34 minutes. I expect his minutes to keep ramping up, and I think this is the explosion game, man. We know he's going to contribute in the rebounds and the assists if he's shooting poorly regardless, but I do think he's going to have a nice scoring game here as well. Rather than guess the category, though, I will be going with his PRA, 35.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I do think he's able to surpass one of those categories in a major way, whether it's he goes out there and drops, 12 dimes, gets the average rebounds and points, or whether he drops 40 points and gets the average rebounds and assists. I think he excels in all 3 of these categories tonight, and I do think he hits this over 35.5 points, rebounds, and assists prop that we are getting at a 1-point discount in comparison to major sports books, where they have his line for his PRA set at 36.5 points, rebounds, and assists. So this all bodes well for the pick. Love this pick. Over 35.5 points, rebounds, and assists for LaMelo Ball. That'll be pick number 1 here. Pick number 2. We're going to talk about the next game in the Oklahoma City Thunder taking on the Washington Wizards. This game comes in with a 229 over-under. We have another team that's playing very fast that has now become the fastest-paced team in the league, surpassing the Golden State Warriors. That is the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're playing at a 102.85 pace metric, and they have a guy on their team that you might have heard of. That's very good. And his name is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and he has been an absolute fantasy point per minute beast on the season, playing mid to upper 30s minutes per game. We've seen him play 36 minutes the last 2 times out on a back-to-back. Times before we were seeing him climb all the way up to 38 minutes, right around 40 minutes at times. And you look at his fantasy point production, I do want to be targeting his fantasy score because he's a guy that can contribute in all categories, and he's also a guy that gets a lot of blocks and steals. He's having a 31% usage rate on the season with a 1.48 fantasy point per minute rate when using this Prizepicks fantasy scoring format. You look at his recent game logs as far as how he's getting the job done. His last 5, he's cleared this in each of the, 4 of the last 5, where he's averaging 55.2 fantasy points per game. I do have him projected to go out there and put up 50 plus again. Prizepicks has his line only set at 47.5 here. And once again, you get 3 points for every block and steal on Prizepicks, guys. So oftentimes when I'm targeting fantasy score, I want a guy that doesn't really turn the ball over a lot. He can contribute in all categories, and he can get blocks and steals. You get 1 point for every point, 1.2 for every rebound, 1.5 for every assist, 3 points for every block, 3 points for every steal, -1 for turnovers. Obviously this is all factored into the fantasy point per minute number, but it is important to know the scoring format, kind of what you're aiming for. And Shai Gilgeous is top of the league as far as in steals and blocks. Looking at the top steals and blocks leaders, he's in the top 80th percentile in the steals category at his position. He's in the top 2% percentile in blocks at his position. Being a guard, he gets a lot of blocks for a guard. So once again, you get 3 points for every one of those. The game logs are going to reflect the underlying metrics. 2 steals last time, 1 block, 3 steals, 2 blocks, 3 steals, 1 block, 2 blocks, 4 blocks, 1 steal. Really good. And then obviously the scoring, 37 points, 8 assists, 4 rebounds, 37 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds. And the other thing I wanted to mention is his assist rate's also climbing to go along with his usage rate. With Trey Mann being out, only playing 3.3 minutes last 2 games, Shai Gilgeous has featured a 36.1% usage and assist rate, 32%, and those are both 4.7% increases from his season-long numbers. So these all bode well for him hitting the over here. Like the over 47.5 fantasy score here for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That would be pick number 2. Pick number 3, we're going to go to the Boston Celtics taking on the Atlanta Hawks. The Celtics dealing with some injuries tonight that I think is going to open up some major usage. With there being a couple of guys out here, let's see the Boston Celtics. They are going to be without Marcus Smart tonight. They are going to be without Malcolm Brogdon. They've been without Robert Williams. It's kind of a big deal, man. It's going to open up usage. When I was looking at some numbers earlier, some things are really popping. I'll talk about it with you guys here. Jason Tatum, over a 47-minute sample size with no Marcus Smart, Malcolm Brogdon, or Robert Williams on the floor this year, possesses a 32% usage rate, and he's putting up 1.62 fantasy points per minute. That is elite. 1.62, you look at his average on the season, just regular numbers, as far as what he's putting up on a permanent basis. He's putting up 1.37 fantasy points per minute with a 31% usage rate. So his permanent fantasy points is jumping all the way from 1.37 up to 1.62. That is very significant. This is a guy that plays lots of minutes. The Celtics have a very solidified rotation. You look at as far as the top in the league in minutes per game. Jason Tatum comes in as 3rd in the league, playing 37.5 minutes per game. We know he can shoot the lights out, shooting 49% from the field. He can also shoot the ball from three-point land and shoots a lot of free throws, 9.1 free throws per game, where he shoots 86.6% from the line. Also can rack up some block and steals. And once again, we talked about that fantasy point rate climbing all the way up. Last time out, 3 blocks, 3 steals. It's a lot of fantasy points, man. That's 18 fantasy points just based off peripheral stats there that he was able to rack up. He's capable of doing that. I do think he's capable of getting to his fantasy score, even without obviously having such an outlier block and steal game. But once again, a guy that I do have projected to score up there in the mid-50s in fantasy points. And with these guys being out, that usage rate climbing up, that fantasy point per minute rate climbing up, he has hit this in 2 of the last 5. It's been the last 2. And once again, keep in mind, this line has bumped up a little bit with the injury news of there being no Marcus Smart, no Malcolm Brogdon. As it should. I still don't think it's high enough. I do have him projected to go out there and score into the mid-50s. And Atlanta hasn't really been too great against power forward starters, which is where Tatum's going to play at that 4 position for the Celtics. Even though they've had a pretty good defense, they are giving up 30.6 fantasy points per game to power forwards, which is very bad as far as in comparison to the on average. Obviously they're not playing Jason Tatum every day here, so that average is very bad. Like the over 51.5 fantasy score here for Jason Tatum, that will be pick number 3 here. And then pick number 4, we're going to talk about another Celtic. Now, we talked about Jason Tatum's bump up in usage, but the biggest bump up in usage with it being no Marcus Smart, Malcolm Brogdon on the floor, actually goes to Al Horford. Al Horford, well, Derek White, technically. Derek White is currently not on the board for props, but Al Horford is. He features a 7.2% usage bump, 0.11 bump in fantasy score, but he's also featuring the biggest bump in shots attempted per minute, whether that 0.1 number increase in shots per minute. You look at field goals attempted per minute as far as the breakdown on the team. Jaylen Brown's going to lead it, Jason Tatum, and then Al Horford comes in third, with there being no Smart, no Brogdon on the floor. Do expect Al Horford to get a nice bump up here in shot volume, and he's already been crushing his points prop as is. So I really like this one for pick number 4. We'll be going with Al Horford's points. 10.5 points. Has cleared this in each of the last 5 games. He's averaging 14.4 points per game. Just talked about it. Smart off the floor. He's going to get even more shots. A guy that's been hitting this, not even needing that many shots, I think can certainly hit it with this nice bump up in usage that we talked about. Massive bump in usage, man. A 7% usage rate, 7% usage bump per minute is very big. And we're dealing with a 25-minute sample size for him. Decent enough. You know, obviously we would prefer a little bit of a larger sample size, but decent enough to really clearly see. You take Smart off the floor, it's going to be less shots going to him, obviously. More shots going to Al Horford. So pick number 4. Do you like the over 10.5 points here for Al Horford? He also is a favorite on major sportsbook. He is a -125 favorite to hit the over on his points, as he should be. I do really think he is able to clear this 10.5 number here tonight. Definitely like this pick. So that's pick number 4. And pick number 5, rounding things out here, we're going to go down to the Houston Rockets taking on the Dallas Mavericks. 217 over under, 6-point spread. The big news in this one is there will be no Luka Doncic on the Dallas Mavericks side. That is obviously massive. Luka Doncic leads the entire NBA in usage rate. Not just the Dallas Mavericks, the entire NBA. He possesses a 38% usage rate. Dominates so much of that usage. And now, tonight, with no Luka Doncic, we're going to get to see the Spencer Dinwiddie show. Spencer Dinwiddie's been balling out as is. He's honestly been a guy I've been targeting his props with there being Luka Doncic, and now he gets the best possible matchup you could ask for, taking on a Houston Rockets team that plays very fast and also is terrible defensively. You're looking at the worst defenders in the entire league I have pulled up here. This is the worst defensive rating in the entire league. Not positions. I do have some other positions pulled up here, like guard, forward, etc. We'll just go ahead and make the point with this screen. Worst in the entire league. Who's on this list? Eric Gordon, Jalen Green, both bottom 3 defenders. Kenny Martin Jr. comes off the bench for Houston. Kevin Porter Jr., Jabari Smith. That is 4 of the Houston Rockets starters that are worst on defense in the entire league. In the bottom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They're in the bottom 11 of all defenders in the entire league, which makes sense because when you're looking at my defensive half-court and putbacks tool as far as what they're allowing points-wise, they're dead last in the entire league in effective field goal percentage rank as far as shooting is concerned. And as far as points per possession is concerned, they're 29th in the league. That's second to last. So they're giving up a ton of points. They have not been efficient. Spencer Dinwiddie has been crushing his PRA prop, and I expect that to continue tonight against this terrible Houston Rockets team. I expect his teammates to have success off from his passes to give him some assists. He's also been rebounding very effectively for a guard, and we know he can get buckets as well. There's 34.5 points, rebounds, and assist line. Hasn't hit this the last 2 times out, but keep in mind, his line was a lot lower than it is now, obviously, with no Luka Doncic. So when you're looking at this graph, like, he actually did hit the over on his PRA, I believe, in a couple of these. Actually, I think he fell, yeah, he fell 1 short last time out, unfortunately. The time before he did hit, but he's been hitting this pretty easily with Luka on the floor, where they've been dealing with no Christian Wood. Christian Wood's now back, but now we're going to take Luka off the floor, so it's kind of going to be the same effect of Spencer Dinwiddie getting that bump up. If not more of an effect, obviously, with Luka being out rather than Christian Wood. He was still sharing with Luka, and he was getting a big bump of usage, so definitely like this pick. Pick number 5, going with the over 34.5 points, rebounds, and assists for Spencer Dinwiddie. Lastly, once again, we do have him as a -125 favorite on major sportsbooks. That's PRA line last time I checked here. So, do like this one here for Spencer Dinwiddie, pick number 5, rocking with the over 34.5 points, rebounds, and assists for him. And that will be my 5 picks to get you winning some money over here on Prizepicks in the NBA tonight, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. If you haven't checked out the premium content packages, check those out. We've been waiting on injury news all day, so I'm going to release my core plays soon. Been waiting as long as I can to get my top plays in because of this injury news. So I will be having more plays, a lot more plays going on over there as well tonight for sure. We just discussed a lot of the injury news throughout this video. Some picks I'm on, but there's going to be even more. So that is all for me, man. Wishing you all the best of luck on your NBA Prizepicks picks tonight, and we will see you in the next one.